Did you miss me? I was just gone for a few minutes. It's okay. It's okay to miss me if you want to. Well, how's everybody doing? Okay, how about you, Debbie? Are you doing well? Good. It's good to see you guys. I was so excited to be a part of that event yesterday again. We had a great time. It was a lot of work, and I went home with way more sugar on myself than I expected to come home with. I was putting my kids to bed last night, and I laid down next to my son, and he was sleeping on the floor last night. So I laid down next to him, and I just went to do my hair, and like these crunchies from the cotton candy, it was flying everywhere. We'll have some funny pictures and video. That those machines are nuts, but people love that cotton candy. So we did that. Well, this week we are going to be in a 3-week study on Thanksgiving, the giving of thanks. I know for a lot of us it's just a time of year, it's just another season, another holiday, but there's some real truths that we want to talk to in the season of Thanksgiving. I know we just finished up Halloween, and there's this season called Thanksgiving in the middle, but we're in full-fledged Christmas mode already. And if you don't believe me, look, it's going to be Black Friday pretty quick here. When you walk in the store, they're going to have all kinds of Christmas stuff, but we want to focus on my favorite holiday of the year, which is this Thanksgiving. Um, and I love Christmas, and I love Easter, and I love what Jesus has done for us. But this time of year, this Thanksgiving, it's a real, it can be a reset for us, and we're going to talk about that over the next 3 weeks, and then in the fourth week, we're going to go out and serve. We're going to go out and give thanks and hopefully spread some cheer to some people and love on them and give our community some thanks for all that they do and this great community that we get to be a part of. So, is it me, or do we just have it easy? Like, do you ever just think, I mean, raise your hand if you ever said, oh, my life is so hard. I think I've done that in the last few weeks. I've just laid down on the bed after we got all the kids to sleep, and, well, they weren't asleep. They were in bed. Maybe they were in bed. They were in their room for a few minutes, and then they come in one by one. They go to my wife's side of the bed. But I just lay down. I'm like, oh, this is so hard. And I just started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? We really do have it so easy. I mean, think about it. We go to the store where our meat is already butchered. I don't have to feed that cow for a long time, or I didn't have to raise chickens in my yard and feed them and clean up their poop, and I didn't have to kill them and take the feathers off, and I didn't have to do any of that. My meat already comes butchered in a nice little styrofoam plastic thing, and I'm like, oh, do I have to cut it out of there and touch it? I mean, really? Like, we've really got it easy. My meat comes butchered. I have running water. I get up in the morning and I take a shower whenever I want to. I step into this porcelain tank, I turn a knob, and hot or cold water comes out, whatever I desire. I mean, it's easy. We've got electricity in our homes. It powers our lights, our devices. It powers everything that we have at the flip of a switch. All we have to do is pay a little bit of money, and we complain about that money, and we make it probably in less than a day for the whole month. One day's worth of work, we make enough money to have electricity and water and refrigerators and all of these fantastic things that we have in our lives. And our houses are insulated. We don't really need them much here because the temperature is pretty moderate here. We have air conditioning. We even have vehicles with air conditioning. Because who wants it hot while you're trying to drive somewhere? We seek comfort. Our lives are easy. We have music on demand. We have entertainment everywhere. You cannot go more than a mile in any direction. There's something you can do. You can pull out your phone and just slide to the left. You got an iPhone and tap entertainment, and it'll tell you all the things that are going on around here that you can be involved in this part of the year. We have some of the world's greatest foods right here. We have the greatest foods. We can eat whatever you want. You want Chinese food today? You want Mexican food today? You want German food? What do you want? You want American food? You want Indian food? Thai food? Japanese food? You like sushi? Go ahead and get that stuff. We have all the greatest foods. Sorry, Iceland, if you're watching online. We don't have your food here because it's not very good. If that goes to Iceland, they're going to be upset. But they're a long way away. I don't think I have anything to worry about. And with this all in mind, aren't we just dissatisfied? Like, we're dissatisfied. We're always looking for something else that's going to make us happy, that's going to give us comfort that's going to make that other thing. It's not the water's not good enough, the electricity, the home, the bed, the soft sheets, the alarm clock, the smartphone, the internet, all these things. It's not enough. We're always seeking for something to satisfy us. And I believe this dissatisfaction comes as a result of our focus and actions based on what we believe. I think it comes from a focus, from our focus and actions based on what we believe. Let me tell you a little bit about my story. See, I like to pick on myself a lot up here because I want you to know that I'm in this struggle too. You know, living in this world, trying to serve Jesus, trying to love people when they're rude, trying to do that stuff. I mean, seriously, guys, it's hard. The struggle is real, right? Hashtag the struggle is real. It's hard to do. I get up here and I say, we need to love people. We need to love Jesus. And it's really good to say, and we know it in here, and we know it in our heart. But on Monday morning, when we don't feel like getting out of that comfortable bed where it's air conditioned in our house, and it's like, I don't want to love Jesus or people today. I just want to stay here and watch some TV. See, I think that dissatisfaction comes as a result of our focus and our actions based on what we believe. See, I pick on myself a lot, but I'm gonna brag a little bit this morning, not on me, but on God, because oftentimes I pick on myself and my failures, but today I want to say that God has done a good work in me, and He's doing a good work in you. I want you to say this out loud with me. God is doing a good work in me. God is doing a good work in me. I don't think all of you said that. Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you mumbled it. But I want you to believe that. As we do this thing together, God is doing a real work. And I got a whole message that I could go off on a tangent right there, but I'm going to stay on my notes because we got something special I want to do at the end. So let me tell you about my story. I used to believe things would give me joy and happiness. I don't believe that anymore. And I know some of you maybe don't believe it here, but your heart still yearns for it. Maybe, I don't know where you are in your journey, but we believe things will give us joy and happiness. I used to want big houses and nice cars. When I was like 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, I remember putting Porsche and Lamborghini pictures on my wall because someday I was going to make enough money to drive those awesome cars. And I was going to have one of those cars. And I could have had one of those cars. And I want expensive clothes and the finer things in life. We all chase these things. Each and every one of us, we chase them because we think they're going to make us feel a little bit better. I used to focus on getting those things. And what I quickly discovered by watching others and my own pursuits is that by buying into the things of this world for their satisfaction will not work. Here's what I'm saying, guys. Trying to get all those things in the world, the more of those things that we just talked about, it will not satisfy us. And Keith Richards and Mick Jagger had it right when they said, I can't get no satisfaction. That's what that song's about. It's like no matter what I do, whatever I try, whatever I'm doing, I try to chase. And guys, they had money and they had access and they had things that you and I will never, ever, 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 ever have. I was trying to stress that if you couldn't tell. Ever have. They've had that. And they said, I can't get no satisfaction. But I try and I try and I try. See, that's the condition of our hearts, that we try and try and try to fill it with all these things the world tells us. Oh, get the new iPhone. It'll make you happy. Like we told you the last one would make you happy. And you had that one and you're dissatisfied with that one because there's a new one out. It does 2 new things. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm growing. This is the first time in like 7 years I did not get the new iPhone that came out. This is the old one. I can say I proudly owned the old iPhone. I had a gasp over here in the right. I own an old iPhone, and this isn't the latest iPad either. So just so you know, I'm not being a hypocrite up here. I'm telling you, I really believe these things. I believe we chase and we chase. And and they were right when they said you can't get no satisfaction. But aren't we all like this? Like we're always seeking something new. And we're going to take a test right here. If you could have any car in the world, what would it be? Now, what I just saw go across your foreheads, you didn't know, but a car, just that thought went right across your forehead. It just zoomed by. And it wasn't the car that you have. It's the one that you saw the ad for, or the person at your work who has that nice car, and you thought, if I had that nice car, I'd be happy. How about some of you women with a bag? I know, literally, I know she's not here this morning, but I know a woman who has like 30 to 60 purses. could take a different purse every single day. And I talked to her recently. She's giving a lot of those purses away. She says, you know what? I don't even know why I collected these for so long, for so many years. Got all these purses, and they just sit in my closet. I used 3 or 4 of them. She says, but I thought I needed them. Thought I wanted them. She's like, I'm just going to give them away. And now she's getting more joy in giving those things away. What about where you want to live? Is anybody in their dream home right now? Like it's all decked out the way that you want it? No, no. You could picture. We did this when I was in like the 7th grade. You're in architectural drafting, Jeremy. Draft your dream home. Or make a collage. Go download pictures off the internet and make your dream home. About that new smartphone. See, we laugh at the hamster on the wheel, but we do the same thing looking for joy and happiness. We get on this hamster wheel of life thinking if we get those things, and we're just running along, trudging along. If I just had a new car, if I just had that outfit, if I just had that purse, if I had those friends, if I hung out with those people, if I just. And the reality is 10 years ago, you didn't have what you have now. You didn't have the friends you have now. You tried to get the friends and the things that you have now. And now that you have those things, they're not satisfying you anyway. So why would we continue running on the hamster wheel? We laugh at the hamster because he's going nowhere, but we do the same thing. We do the same thing. From the moment we're born, we have an attitude of mine and I want. And if you have children, how many of you needed to teach them those words? I've said this before. I never taught my kids the word mine, but they're like those seagulls in Finding Nemo. They're just like, mine, and they just mine, and they grab stuff and they take it, and then they're like, mine, and I want. When they say, I want. You've never met a kid that didn't say, I want. We all said it, they said it. It's a condition of our heart. See, we have to shape those things out of them, or they're going to hurt them, and the people around them are not going to enjoy them, and they're not going to enjoy their lives. John 10:10 says this, if you got your smartphones. John's a book in the New Testament. It's Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Chapter 10, verse 10 says this, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy, but I have come that they might have life and have it to the full. That we might have it to the full. See, the life I just talked about has robbed us of the true meaning of joy because we're not satisfied and we don't have joy. We might have bits of joy and times of joy and happiness. And we're going to talk about that just a little bit more here. See, many people see God, that's why people don't run right to religion, because they think God is like this fun sucker. And I'm using a Dave Ramsey term. Look at Bart just got all happy over there because I used a Dave Ramsey term. You see, a lot of people think that God is this fun sucker. But in reality, God is trying to give us wisdom in His Word so that we will have satisfaction. See, He designed the universe in a way to operate to where we would have joy and we might have life and life to the full. And His Word gives us that roadmap and tells us, here's how you have life to the full. We try to do it opposite and wonder why we're dissatisfied, even though we try and we try and we try. But we can't get no satisfaction. See, the 10 Commandments we think of oftentimes are a list of do's and don'ts. Like, honor your father and mother, don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, don't murder. Then they all are. The first 9, they deal with do's and don'ts. Here's things you should do, and they are for your good. It's good if you don't murder people. Can you guys agree with me? It's good to not steal things. We can all agree right there, right? These are things we shouldn't do. See, because we're dumb sometimes, and God just has to be, He can't just say, hey, be good and love me and love people. He's got to say, don't murder people, because sometimes we don't understand that murdering people might be bad. So it's true. It's true. Or stealing something from them. But see, the last one, this is the one I want to focus on a little bit today. The last one says, thou shalt not covet. And it goes on to say your neighbor's wife and property and all of these things. See, this is the first one that's dealing with the condition of our heart. Thou shalt not covet. What does that word covet mean? The word covet means a yearning to possess or have something. That's what I've been talking about this morning. The things that we want, the cars, the lifestyle, that house, that purse, the new friends, or if I could just be with those friends, I'd be happy. That coveting is the yearning of something that somebody else has. And you know what? Whenever we watch TV, they always show us what somebody else has and that we should have. Every billboard that we have, you should have this. And spokesmodels come on and say, you should have this because I'm happy and I have this. And then you see that, like, in the newspaper the next day, they're getting the divorce and so on. Their life is falling apart. Oh, yeah, you're so happy because you've got that watch. It's awesome. See, God wants to deal with the condition of our heart. This covetousness, it's this yearning to possess something that we do not have. It's what keeps us on the hamster wheel. We got to work harder. We got to do more. We got to try to get into that crowd. We got to do it. And if you spend a lot of time wishing for things you don't have, you won't be spending time appreciating the things that you do have. I've read so many biographies of people who just chase the proverbial carrot all through life. And in their dying days, they say, I wish I would have spent more time with my family. When their kids are going off to college, I wish I would not have ignored them all those years because I was trying to get the house and the car and get them into the school. Those days are gone. The joy comes in those meaningful things in life. What a covetous heart screams is, God gave you good gifts, but he gave me crap. See, when we start thinking about what other people have, we start saying it's not fair. It's like our kids, it's not fair that God gave you good stuff, but he gave me crap. I don't like the stuff that I have. And that's what we're saying. We're talking about a covetous heart. We're saying, I don't want what I got because what I got sucks. Right? That's what we say about our own things, but will we give our own things away? Oh, no. No, I'm not giving those things away. I like them. If you want them, I like them. It's like our kids. We're just like big grown-up kids. It's like, would you give, oh, I don't like my stuff anymore. I have all those clothes. Would you give them away to somebody? Oh, I'm not giving them away. I like them. Or when somebody else wants them, you ever seen a kid like playing with a toy and they put it down? They're like, oh, I don't like that toy. And then somebody else wants it and they're like, give me that back. I want that toy. It's who we are. What we're saying to God is that I don't like what you've given me. And this is a form of idolatry. Covetousness is much more serious than just social malady. It's not just this weird thing that we get involved in. It's actually dangerous for us. When we put greed, lust, and self above God, coveting becomes idolatry. We put all of those things above God. That's all idolatry is. The finer things of life. What am I chasing? Am I chasing God or am I chasing the finer things in life? Paul warns us about this in Colossians chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. He says, put to death. That's strong language. Death it's final. Put to death, therefore, what is earthly in you: sexual immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, and covetousness. Evil desires and greed is what it says in another translation, which is idolatry. Guys, this is serious. When we chase the things of this world, when they become ultimate to us, they take the place of God. And that's where we lose our satisfaction and our joy, because they are not meant to satisfy. Paul elsewhere links the sins of coveting with idolatry, pointing out that these sins can impact our eternal destiny. It is important to put this covetousness to death. It's important, and that's why death is a strong word that he used in there. Ephesians 5:5 says this: for of this you can be sure, no immoral, impure, or greedy person, such a person is an idolater, has any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. That's just strong language. When we put things above God, God is not satisfied. And guess what? We're not satisfied either. That's the point I'm trying to make this morning, is that we're not satisfied either. Covetous tells God we know what is best for us, and it also tells God we desire things more than him. That's what we're screaming in our heart. Guys, there's stuff out there I want more than you, God. I know I'll get to you in a minute. I'll get to you in a minute. This condition of coveting creates angst and tension in our lives. And God has given us a tool to combat it so we might have joy and peace and life to the full. What is this tool? What is this weapon, you ask? Thankfulness. Thankfulness is the tool that God gives us to put covetousness to death so that we might have contentment and satisfaction. Are you following me there? Thankfulness is the tool. It's the sword that we use. It's the axe that we use. It's the it's the gun that we use to put to death covetousness in our life. That's how we kill it, is with thankfulness, so that we will have satisfaction, and so that we will have joy, and so that we will be content. Does that make sense? That's why he gave it to us. Hebrews 13:5 says this, keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have, because God has said, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. So we say with confidence, the Lord is my helper. I will not be afraid. What can mortals do to me? Be content with what you have. Put the love of money aside. Put it out of your life. Quit chasing. Get off the hamster wheel. And let's be thankful. Let's be content with what we have. The giving of thanks is a way to positively kill the desires that lead us into temptation. Paul says to be content with what you have. Be satisfied with what you have. We already have a lot. We have enough. Like none of us, if we could just eat for the rest of the days of our life, we wouldn't need anything else. As I watched this video yesterday, it made Gary cry. We watched it in my truck on the way over we went to serve. There's kids in Haiti right now, today, who their main source of food is dirt. They're dirt cookies. The women in the community buy dirt from people in the mountains. Sounds like a shady deal to me. They bring these sacks down. They mix it with water. Sometimes they put a little salt in it. Sometimes a little vegetable shortening in it. And they make this mud soup in these vats. I was going to show you the video this morning, but we'll show it some other time. They make this mud soup in these vats, and they pour it out like pancakes on the ground, on asphalt, right next to sewer line, open sewer that's going by. And they smear it out into a circle about yay big, let it dry, the kids eat that. They call them cookies. This is in Haiti right now. What I'm saying to you is we don't need anything else. You guys wouldn't eat a dirt cookie. I wouldn't eat a dirt cookie. Nobody should have to eat a dirt cookie. Paul says to be content with what you have. Do new things really give you joy, and does it last? See, this is the lie that we keep buying into, literally. We keep buying it. We keep shelling out. We work harder and harder at a job we don't like, keep shelling out money for things that are going to satisfy us, and they don't satisfy us. See the hamster wheel? We're back on it again, guys. Go work hard, work hard, work hard. Get those things that everybody else tells you that you need so you'll be satisfied. And there's more work at the end of the day. There's more things that you want to fix because once you've upgraded your kitchen and your countertops, and guess what? They're not in style anymore. Now you got to upgrade in kitchen. Granite's out. Quartz is in. Get rid of your granite. Stainless steel's not in anymore. We've got this new material. Put it in your kitchen. It's going to make your life better. Does it do that? The answer is no. Be content with what you have. See, these things, they don't make us any happier. If I had that thing, if I had that spouse, if I had that job, see, none of those things are meant to satisfy us completely. They're not meant to bring us contentment. Contentment doesn't come from more stuff. It just doesn't. Because I have a lot of stuff. We moved to Arkansas, and I brought a little bit of stuff there, and then we got a lot of stuff while we were there, and I had to get rid of a lot of stuff before I came back here. And it didn't hurt my feelings to get rid of that stuff. I was like, oh, thank you. Now I don't have to find a place for this stuff. Really? Like I didn't even want it, but I thought I needed it when we bought it. That's why we bought it. That's why we got it. See, these things, they make us happy for a moment, and then we need another fix. It's like a drug addict. It's like a drug addict. You take the drug the first time, gets you really high. You're like, oh, yeah, it was great, right? Oh, yeah. The next time you take it, it doesn't do as much. You got to take more of it, and you got to get more of it, and you got to get more of it, and you got more of it. So you have that feeling again. You never get that. It's called the law of diminishing returns, the principle that a continual increase in effort or investment does not lead to a continual increase in output or results. The continual investment into stuff and things does not increase our joy or our happiness. See, we thought when we got that car, that house, we lived in that neighborhood, had that job, it was going to get better. But guess what? No matter what, when you have a job, it sucks. Monday morning, you don't want to get up and go to it. But it gets us more money to get those things that are going to make us happy. It's the junky lifestyle for us. Every new car and outfit satisfies a little bit, but a little bit less. And guess what? They all end up in the junk drawer, in the junk pile. They all end up at the Goodwill. Or guess what? That thing we wanted so bad, it's a garage sale item a year from now, guaranteed. Or you're giving it away. I don't even want this old thing anymore. Never made me happy in the first place. See, I want you to listen to this. We are made to worship creator, not creation. God is the only thing that is big enough for our worship to fall on, that gives us joy, that reflects back to us, that fills us, that satisfies us, that gives us joy. But when I put my worship in anything, my wife, my relationships, my job, my car, it just falls flat, because creation cannot support our worship. It never was meant to. And it doesn't give us joy, and it doesn't give us satisfaction. Contentment follows thanksgiving. Thanksgiving realigns our worship on the Creator, not the created. Giving thanks to God for all that He has done and all that He will do for us. Remember, He just said, I will not leave you or forsake you. I am with you. These things, He says, I am with you. I will give you joy. I will be your peace. I will be, because He's the only one that can be that for us. I had this great conversation one time with Kittrick about my spouse, and he said, is Janie everything, and this is going out on the World Wide Web, is Janie everything you ever wanted in a woman? And I said, absolutely not. She cannot be. She's not. That might seem harsh. I love that woman to death, but she cannot satisfy me. You know Jerry Maguire, you complete me? You know that scene, right? Like Jerry Maguire, you complete me. That's nonsense. No one else is going to complete me except Him. I cannot worship something that is created. I can only worship something that is created, the Creator, who's going to give life and joy back to me. I love that woman with all my heart, but she's never going to be exactly what I want. If you've been married, you know. You try. You try to shape them into exactly what you want. It don't work. You on the internet, you too. I don't know, some of you women, you think you're fixer-upper. Oh, I'll change him. Uh-huh. Yeah, you will. You will not. You'll be changing the locks. That might have been too far. You guys can email me. That was good. I'm getting it. That was good. Where are we at? It is what it is. See, the Bible is filled with verses on giving thanks to God. Psalm 106, 1, 107, 1, 118, 1, 1 Chronicles 16, 34, 1 Thessalonians 5:18. I want you guys, hey guys, you should come and get these from me. They're good. Most verses go on to list reasons why we should thank God, such as these: He endures forever. Guess what? Your spouse isn't going to be there forever. Your friends will not be there for you forever. God will endure forever. He is good. Your friends are not all good. There's some bad in all of us, because you're not an all good friend. I know that. He is always good. His mercy is everlasting. Mine runs out. Usually about 7:30 when we're trying to get kids in the bathtub. My mercy runs out right about there. I'm like, oh, I need a shot in the arm. Not going to make it. Not going to make it. Thanksgiving and praise always go together. Thanksgiving and praise always go together. We cannot adequately praise and worship God without also being thankful. Hear what I just said. That's heavy. We cannot adequately worship God without also being thankful. Because the praise, the worship comes from a thankful heart. The thankfulness is what gives us the ability to praise and worship God, because we are thankful for what He's done. Have you ever told somebody thank you and not been in awe of who they were to your life, or they did something for you? You never say you never say thank you like you can say sorry sometimes. Because you can say sorry like this. Sorry. And you're not really sorry. But you don't ever say thank you to somebody unless you're genuinely thankful. See, thankful is the engines, the fuel that fuels our praise and our worship. So a thankful heart is what fuels our worship and praise to our Creator and to those around us. Feeling and expressing appreciation is good for us. Like any wise father, God wants us to learn to be thankful for all the gifts He's given us. Without gratefulness, we become arrogant and self-centered. You know anybody who's self-centered and arrogant? Guess what? They're not grateful or thankful, right? They don't go hand in hand. They don't go together. We become arrogant and self-centered. We begin to believe that we have achieved everything on our own. I did it myself. I did it on my own. And thankfulness keeps our hearts in right relationship to the giver of all good gifts. All good gifts. Giving thanks also reminds us of how much we do have. Guys, we've got a lot. And God is the giver of those gifts. He's given them all to us. By giving thanks, we're continually reminded of how much we do have When we start thanking God for the things we usually take for granted, our perspective changes. Do you ever start getting in a mood where you're just thankful? It changes your mood. You start thinking about the good things that people have done for you and the things that God has done for you, and it changes our mood. It changes us. It gives us joy. Wow, I do have a lot. Wow, people do love me. You start looking at what people do for you and how they care for you, the little things that they say, just being your friend and going out with you. That brings joy to our lives. Let's focus on those things. Thankfulness is this weapon we use to put to death greed and envy. It allows us to settle and not get wound up, to be content. You know, when we're on that hamster wheel, we're wound up. We're chasing whatever life tells us that we need to be happy. And this allows us to settle. It brings us joy. It focuses us again on the Creator and not creation. Creation cannot hold the weight of our worship because we are beings made in the image of God whose worship is heavy. And the only thing that can bear the weight of our worship is God, the Creator Himself, because He is holy, because He is good, because He has good gifts for us, because He loves us, and because we can be ever thankful to Him. So right now, this is going to be cool. Amanda, can you help me out? Raise your hand if you got like 2 thank you cards and envelopes on the way in. I handed them out to some of you. If you guys need some, Amanda, I think we need like 3 sets plus you. Do you have some, Chris? Chris, okay, you guys got them? Okay. We're going to do something for the next few minutes. This is an object lesson. I want you to take one of those thank you cards. Yeah, I think they got them over there. Raise your hand if you don't have and you need a pen. Do you have a pen? She didn't get pens. Dad, can you grab some pens? These are our church thank you cards. I like to send them out randomly, and we send them to new guests when they come, thanking them for being with us, and we've got them. So this first thank you card, here's what I want you to do. I don't know what your relationship is with God. I don't know if you have a relationship with God. I don't know whether it's good, whether it's on the back burner, whether it's on the front burner, whether it's not on the burner, whether you're trying to microwave it. I don't know what it's like for you. But what I want you to do in this first card is I want you to, for a moment, thank God for what He's done. See, God has given you everything, just where we live, your life, your friends. God's given us all. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to thank God specifically for the things that He's done, that you know He will do, that you will trust Him with, things that are like got you on the hamster wheel. God, I'm going to turn this over to you. I'm just going to be grateful and thank you. I want you to write these things down. And I want you to take these home. I want you to put them on the dash of your car. I want you to put them on your window, on your mirror. I want you to put them on the refrigerator. And when you see this card, I want it to trigger, I have so much to be thankful for. And I've got a good God who loves me. So go ahead and just take a few minutes. We're going to put some music on right now. And we're going to thank God for what He's done in our life and put to death some of this hamster wheel running that we're doing. I love it. Hallie said she ran out of room. Guys, I know this can't be an exhaustive list. I wanted to do this. I know it's kind of awkward, like we just stop church, but we're gonna do stuff like this from time to time because it's important. There's so much that we can be thankful for, and I think this would be a good exercise to get in. Just regularly, just start. If you don't journal, just maybe once a week or when you're feeling down. I know it's the hardest time to do it. That's why doing it regularly would be easier. Just start jotting down things that you're thankful for and telling people that you're thankful for. Now, the second card I gave you is, you see, we don't want to just have a relationship with God. It's about a relationship with God and then loving on others, right? So there are people who we're very thankful for. And I know I don't want you all to write my name in your card, so I'm going to take my name out of the hat, right? And what I want you guys to do is this week, I want you to take the card. I want you to write a sincere thank you note to somebody who's meant a lot to you, or who maybe walked through a hard time, or just whenever you see them, they're always encouraging, or just let them know, I'm thankful for you and the deposits that you make in my life. I'm thankful for what you do. And guys, if you want to take a couple more of those, there's a stack of them over there on the table. If you want to do this, I want us to be a people who regularly do this, where we just thank people, because it puts to death that covetousness, that it kills the hamster wheel. It smashes that hamster wheel in our life, and we get to focus on the things that are good and pure and lovely and holy. fills us with joy. It's really contrary to what the world believes. So I want you to take those other cards home, and if you want to grab a few extra ones, you can take those and drop a stamp if you know their address, or just hand it to them, or do something fun. Maybe you can just ding dong ditch them, like some of you guys got ding dong ditched with pumpkins in the last week or so. You can just take the card, put it on their porch, tape it to their mailbox or their door, and knock on the door and run away. It'll be something fun. Thank you guys for being here today.